Hi guys, how we going? Louis at Defending Elvis. Right, so let's have a think what we're gonna do here. Let's just quickly tell you guys that we're going live. I'm not going to tell all of you. I'm just going to quickly put it on our Defending Elvis chat, our Defending Elvis Facebook, and on my personal Facebook, Louis McCready's. So where are we? Let's have a look. So a couple of big topics today. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to do all these topics. All these topics. So in case you don't know, I did a topic this morning. I just wanted to sort of go through a recap of all the different channels that we have been discussing, promoting, praising, giving shout outs to all the ones that have given shout outs to our channel, Defending Elvis. You know, we're well over a year now, guys. One thing we've always consistently done is promote other channels. We've always been very friendly and welcoming to other channels. It hasn't always worked out for us, but generally, we as Defending Elvis, as Team Elvis, have always been very inviting and helpful. We always give great advice to other channels. We've got a few channels that are on our members, on our subscribers that join us every day. YouTube Elvis channels and new up and coming ones, as well as ones that have just started. Also ones that have been Elvis channels for many years. Yeah, we've been fortunate that where many YouTube channels have joined us, given us a shout out, and we love it, and we will always do it. Sometimes people say to me, you know, you shouldn't align yourself with other channels because you get backlash and you regret it. But me personally, I want to link myself to other channels. I want to give other channels a shout out. Recently we did Count Mozart, brilliant. We did Atomic Hive, brilliant. AM Vintage this morning, brilliant. And many more. You know, I'm a fan of Globetrotting Trey, of Spy Guy, Joe at Rare House Photos. We've got some guys here like Memphis Flash Richie, his channel. We've got hi Emily. Oh, thank you. Emily, we've still got a part 3 to do on that yet, on the Presley Mania review. So we've got Elvis History, a new channel. Terry, we've got Hillbilly Cat, new channel, and Emma has started a new channel called A Girl. I think it's called Just a Girl Who Loves Elvis. Her new channel. So I like it. I like discussing other channels. I love it when we get a shout out. I love giving other channels a shout out. I've had 3 channels now invite me onto their show. AM Vintage, Count Mozart, Atomic Hive. Stefan invited me on his show, Artist on Record. So I think I may do it. I think I may join some of these shows and just do a show with them, because I just think it'll be fun. I think it'll be fun for you guys as well. So, right. I want this topic about should Priscilla Presley be buried at Graceland we're gonna do it as a live like we're doing now, but we're also gonna do it as a normal video as well. There's gonna be a few parts to this. The other big topic we're gonna discuss is I have been getting some reports back from Elvis Evolution. Elvis Evolution. A couple of good ones, mostly bad. I don't know, have any of you had any reports? So, you know, I don't want to upset anyone because many of you are booked to go. So I will be showing the good reviews and the bad reviews of Elvis Evolution as they come in. So that I've just started now asking people, did you like it? Yeah. Some of you don't know, but we did have someone who was giving me information concerning Elvis Evolution. So I'd like to share their info with you guys, but that is for a different video. So we are going to be discussing Elvis Evolution and the reviews of the people that have been visiting. There's a lot of disappointment. There's a lot of anger with Elvis Evolution. I've heard a lot of people are walking out. They're going to the show halfway through. They're like, what is this? This is not what we were promised. There is no holograms, etc. This is just a walkabout to almost like a theatrical show, and people are walking out, guys. People are walking out. But I've also heard, I think it was Caroline. I think she's on our Defending Elvis Facebook, and she's on here, and she said she's just got back from there, and she said it was good. She said it was good. So we are gonna review Elvis Evolution. We need to do a couple of videos on that. But today's topic, guys. Hi, Emma. Today's topic is, should Priscilla be buried at Graceland? So what do you think, guys? Yeah, so Debbie says that she'd heard they'd pulled the hologram off the show. Yeah, I've heard that when there was problems, when the hologram people pulled out, it completely changed the show. Someone even said it went from being a show that was going to cost tens of millions to set up, once the hologram people pulled out, under 5 million. Under 5 million. Who knows? Who knows, guys? So I'm concerned because many of you guys have spent a lot of money. Invested a lot of money, not just in tickets, in travel. Some of you have bought the very expensive tickets. Is it £300 or something for the VIP, super VIP? So I had someone message on our YouTube channel. Thank you for joining me, guys. Thank you for coming together on Defending Elvis. We have done one other video this morning, in case you don't know. We were promoting channels, YouTube channels that are 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s retro style channels. AM Vintage gave us a big shout out today. But one of you guys, I think it was Deborah Roberts. Said, what do you feel about Priscilla being buried at Graceland in the Meditation Gardens? We know she can't be buried next to Elvis, but it does seem that if it's possible, if Memphis City allow it, that Priscilla could be buried at the Meditation Garden. We don't really know the ins and outs. It's just possible. Now, as soon as I mentioned Priscilla being buried at Graceland, there is uproar. There is uproar. The fans are pretty pissed off. Now, remember, if you're a Priscilla fan, yeah, if you've been brainwashed and you believe the fake fairy tale, yeah, because I personally think many of the public have been very gullible and brainwashed into believing there was this perfect romance between Elvis and Priscilla that only went wrong because Elvis took drugs and was unfaithful. That is so far from the truth. There is much more to the relationship, the marriage, the engagement of Elvis and Priscilla. Much, much more to it. If you have been brainwashed into believing that it was a perfect romance and it only went wrong because of Elvis, you are very wrong. You are very mistaken. So you will get the Priscilla fans who are like, yeah, 100%. Priscilla should be buried next to the love of her life, Elvis. Remember, Priscilla keeps saying Elvis is the love of her life, which is bullshit. We've clearly proved that that's not possible. He's had too many long-term boyfriends. She likes to say it. She likes to say that they're soulmates. I've heard Priscilla say it. Me and Elvis were soulmates. How can that be after what we know, the research we've done, the things that we've uncovered, the unfaithfulness of Priscilla and Elvis? Remember, they both were in a failed relationship, a failed marriage. Both of them. They both did wrong, Elvis and Priscilla. But the truth is, Priscilla was unfaithful just after Lisa Marie was born with the dance instructor, and she did it again with Mike Stone, the karate champion. And we also know that Elvis was unfaithful as well. It's not straightforward. I've always thought with Elvis there's a knee-jerk reaction. I've always thought with Elvis that after the engagement, Elvis tried to sort of calm down and be loyal and faithful, especially after the marriage. Elvis tried to be faithful and loyal. I've heard Joe Esposito say for a while Elvis did calm down, change his ways for a while. There's no way Elvis would have been expecting Priscilla to be unfaithful when poor Lisa Marie was a small baby. Yeah, just 2-3 months old, and then she does it all again. We do have to accept that once the marriage breaks down, within a year of the marriage starts to break down. Elvis also goes off to be unfaithful. One of them, Susan Henning. Yeah, so guys, and this bullshit excuse that Elvis won't sleep with a woman that's had a baby, it's a load of bullshit. Susan Henning had a baby. Yeah, so to the Priscilla fans, you need to do some research and understand why the Elvis fans do not want Priscilla buried at the meditation garden. Right. So what I did, once Deborah Roberts sent me this message saying, oh, this topic of Priscilla being buried at the meditation garden, I posted it on Facebook. Let's get it up. I've done 2 posts, one today and one yesterday. The one yesterday has had 52 comments. And then I did one today very quickly. Let's make sure you guys can see it. Yep, you got it. Let's make it a little bit bigger. I did find a video that I thought, I'm going to play it. So I'm going to play the video first, as long as it's on my history. Let's have a look. Where are we? History. Is it going to let me see the history? 1 second, guys. It's just a short video that I thought, it's a bit of an AI type news clip type video, and I thought, let's just play it. It sets the mood. Let's go for history. Let's see if it's going to come up. Right, that's the one. We're going to play that, then we're going to discuss
Priscilla Presley wishes...
Now, I don't know how long I've got, guys, because the kids are going to come home and stuff like that. Let's just see how it goes. But thank you for joining me at Defending Elvis. It's a real pleasure.
...to be buried next to her husband and children. Her representative has confirmed to news that Priscilla Presley wishes to be buried next to her husband and children. Her representative has confirmed to news that Priscilla, 77, has requested to be buried next to Elvis Presley and Lisa Marie Presley. Priscilla explains, "Although I don't plan on going anywhere anytime soon, it is my family's and my wish that when that time comes, I be laid to rest with my daughter and the love of my life." To quote one of the band members, "We appreciate the love from all..."
Remember, and the love of her life. See, this confuses people, because anyone that's done a bit of research will not accept that Elvis is the love of Priscilla's life. And Priscilla keeps saying it in different interviews. Oh, he was the love of my life. I still love him. We are soulmates, how can that be? How can that be when there's been so many long-term relationships? And she divorced him, and she was unfaithful to him more than once. And the way she treated him with the divorce settlements, and many other things, guys. It just doesn't make any sense that when she says that Elvis is the love of her life, it just doesn't add up.
All of the fans. TMZ reports that in a deal agreed with granddaughter Riley Keough on Tuesday, her request was denied. After his death in 1977, Elvis was laid to rest at his beloved Graceland estate, next to the graves of his parents, Gladys and Vernon Presley, his daughter Lisa Marie Presley, and her son Benjamin Keough, who passed away in 2020, are interred next to him at Graceland. After dating for 8 years, Priscilla and Elvis finally tied the knot in 1967.
Well, I've got to jump in there. After dating for 8 years, you see, this is the misinformation. This is where the truth is being twisted. They briefly met for around 6 months. We don't know how often they saw each other. They were just close friends. Elvis refused to allow it to become sexual because she was so young. They were just friends. Yes, it was 1959. But then when Elvis in 1960 goes back to America, to carry on with his career, yeah, making movies, making albums. He did the Frank Sinatra show, etc. He didn't see her for 2 years and 3 months. We've worked out. So even then, when she moved over, and it was Elvis lived as a single man. Elvis lived as a single man when she moved over. So I wouldn't really officially say they were a proper relationship until leading up to the engagement, I would say. So 66, in December, they get engaged. I would say 66 was probably their first proper relationship year. I also would say 62, 3, 4, and 5. Elvis lived as a single man. Priscilla sort of knew what she was getting into, but that must have been tough for her. I will be fair. It must have been tough. She knew Elvis was dating other people. Yeah? So let's keep listening to this little clip. But no, they were not seeing each other for 8 years before they got married. Not true. Not true. I would say at best, if we're going to go along with from the date she moves to Graceland, so around the end of 63 or 63, and then they get engaged in 66, they may have been dating 3 years before they get married. So not 8 years, guys. Remember the marriage, she was unfaithful within a year of the marriage with Steve Peck, the dance instructor. So really the marriage was over within a year of the marriage, but then they have a fake, in my opinion, for entertainment purposes. Everything I say is just opinions, entertainment for discussion only. Yeah, not fact. But then I would say that they had a fake marriage for 18 months, 2 years, and then she runs off with Mike Stone demanding a divorce. She secretly sees Mike Stone, the champion karate guy, for a year, and then it's all out. She demands a divorce. Yeah, so by 72, it's all over. 73, it's official. Yeah? Okay, let's keep going.
The couple divorced in 1972, but Priscilla has said many times that Elvis was her soulmate. The celebrity in Kiev, 33.
But how can she say that? How can she say that after everything that happened? She left him. She demanded a divorce. She was unfaithful. So how can she do that? They worked together for 4 years. When he died, they'd been separate. She had other long-term partners for years. And on the day he died, she was with her boyfriend, wasn't she? Yeah? She was with, eventually, Michael Edwards for a long time. We've got a lot of things to say about Michael Edwards, but now's not the time. She was with him for 6 to 7 years. She was with Marco Garibaldi Garcia for how long? 22 years, and they had a child. Do you see my point? He can't be her soulmate. He can't be the love of her life. It's not possible.
3. Just settled a trust dispute in a Los Angeles courtroom on Tuesday. The actress told POPLO that everything has been settled.
Even that, we have this another topic, but no, things weren't settled. Yes, financially, Riley Keough and Priscilla did a settlement, yeah? But come on, guys. When the grandmother goes against their daughter's wishes, so let me just get that clear. When Priscilla goes against her daughter's wishes, that she wants to give her inheritance and her trust fund, insurance policy, whatever you want to call it, to her children. Lisa wanted to give everything to her children, of course. And the grandmother tries to stop it, block it. That isn't a settlement. That is unforgivable. But yes, financially, they agreed many things. One of the things they agreed was that if it's possible that Priscilla can be buried at the meditation garden, many fans are against it. Yeah? But secretly behind the scenes, there must have been a lot of argument, even possible lawsuit.
Despite the fact that in January Priscilla filed a petition challenging the authenticity and validity of a 2016 change to the
and we know all this. We know all this, yeah? We've been through all this. This is for another show. Let's keep going.
Trust that removed her as a co-trustee and put Keough in charge. Priscilla added in a statement obtained exclusively by People. My family has resolved all confusion as it relates to our plea to the court and request for document interpretation after my daughter Lisa Marie's untimely death. There was never any lawsuit filed against my dear granddaughter, despite the fact that certain media outlets mislabeled this appeal as a lawsuit.
Which there's probably some truth to that, but there was threats of a lawsuit. There was threats. If they hadn't agreed terms, and it's alleged that Bridget Cruz helped Priscilla, it was going to become a lawsuit. I've even heard there was a possibility of a lawsuit concerning the Priscilla film, Sofia Coppola's Priscilla film, that Lisa Marie was threatening a lawsuit about that film towards her own mother, Priscilla. Just alleged, just something I heard.
She elaborated, saying, "As a family, we are delighted that we settled this together. We ask that you give my family and us the space we need to mourn Lisa Marie and be together in private. The Presleys are stronger than ever thanks to you, and we love you all."
I don't believe it. I don't believe that they're stronger than ever. I think behind the scenes, there's a lot of problems between Riley and Priscilla. It is, don't forget, they are blood. Priscilla is the grandmother, so you know what it's like. They're going to get on as well. Priscilla, they grew up with Priscilla as grandmother. That includes Finian, Harper, and Benjamin. So we see it as fans, so we have serious opinions. But it will be different for Riley because she will be trying to keep Priscilla happy because it's her gran, it's blood. So it's not straightforward. This is probably why some fans are upset with Riley because they feel a disconnect. But it's difficult for Riley because it is gran. It's her grandmother. She's lost her mum. She's blood. Priscilla is blood. You'll never get away from that.
All very much. Her attorney, Ronson Shamoon, has assured the media that the Presley family is united and together and excited for the future, and that everyone is happy. Attorney
I don't believe that for a second. I don't think everyone is happy.
for Kia Justin Gold remarked, Riley would not have agreed to the settlement if she was not happy with it. Kia
That's bullshit. I actually think Riley got a good settlement. I actually think giving Priscilla $1 million and 400 grand fees and 100 grand a year advisory payment for Graceland, I think she did well. Because now Priscilla is outside the box, outside the circle, outside the bubble. Priscilla is gone now. Yeah? I don't care what anyone says to me. Priscilla now, the days of her heading up the empire of Graceland, they're over. They're gone. Riley now is clearly the owner of Graceland. Now, eventually the twins will step in as well. Riley, Finley and Harper. Finley and Harper will step in eventually.
Kia's camp is preparing to make a settlement demand for the Promenade Trust and an insurance trust in a sealed document. Despite a source telling People that the Daisy Jones and the Six Star is ready to move on after the settlement, Kia's representatives have not responded to the publication's demands for comment.
Well, look, and don't forget, guys, people discuss what he just said then. But the truth is, Riley Keough did make this priority, finishing this book, From Here to the Great Unknown, on behalf of her mum, from the tapes that her mum, Lisa Marie, made. So, no, Riley still carried on clearing her path. She removed Priscilla from the cover of this book. I really believe that, yeah? She made her statement. It says a lot. So, don't underestimate Riley, guys.
Riley feels relieved that the conflict around her mother's fortune has been resolved. Kia was spotted on a coffee run in Vancouver on Wednesday, and
so I do think it was resolved. Okay, guys, so I think that's the end of that video clip. Let me just quickly check your comments, and then I'm a bit rushed for time, so I want to try and read some of these Facebook things where people are very upset about the thought of Priscilla being buried in the meditation garden, yeah? So, let's have a look. Oh, thanks, Emma. Yeah, I'm very lucky. Very lucky. Now, I don't know if you know our history, Emma, but we've had a rocky road with other channels. So I do feel we've turned a corner and things are starting to get better now. But we have tried to help and promote many channels. We've always done it since day one, for well over a year. So I must say we were quite unfairly treated. quite unfairly treated. But things do seem to be working out now. Okay, guys, let's go to the Facebook page. So pretty quickly put it in your comments. Do you think Priscilla should be buried in the meditation garden? Right. So remember, at the moment, I've got a thing where I'm trying to be fair with everyone, including Priscilla. Yeah? Now, I'm not on her side. I definitely will expose Priscilla's wrongdoing. But I want to come across in a way where I am not just this nasty guy on YouTube trying to be nasty to Priscilla. I'm not doing that. What I'm trying to do is expose the wrongdoing of Priscilla in defense of Elvis, because I want the world to know that Elvis has been lied about, unfairly treated. Many of the things in this book, Elvis and me, I just don't agree with. I think it's a fake fairy tale. Yeah, I think Elvis's image and reputation has been damaged by Priscilla. I really do. But I also want to be fair. Now, this is my fair bit. Please don't be upset with me, guys, when I say it. Yeah? You cannot get away from the fact that Priscilla is grandmother. You cannot get away from that. And mother. And mother. Now remember, I want to make my views clear. I don't think Priscilla should be buried at the meditation garden. I think Priscilla should be buried with her own family, her own parents, maybe, in the same plot where Navarone will be buried, maybe Marco Garibaldi Garcia. She's got brothers and sisters, she has her own family. I personally think Priscilla should be buried with her own family. Yeah? But we do have a dilemma, and whenever I bring this up, people get annoyed at me. But you cannot change the fact that Lisa Marie is Priscilla's daughter and is buried in the meditation garden. You cannot change the fact that Benjamin is buried at Graceland in the meditation garden. Priscilla is the mother of Lisa. Priscilla is the grandmother of Benjamin. No matter what we think of Priscilla, and we have very strong views about Priscilla, don't we? That is the case. That is our dilemma. Our dilemma is this. We as fans who are not related to Priscilla, who are very upset with Priscilla because we feel that she's betrayed Elvis and badly treated Lisa, also badly treated Riley Q and the twins, trying to contest the amendments to the trust, etc. We as fans are quite upset. Yeah? We don't want... I would say most fans that have done their research will not want Priscilla buried at Graceland. But the Priscilla fans that have fallen for the fake fairy tale will want Priscilla buried at Graceland. You speak to any Priscilla fan that has fallen for the fake fairy tale, yeah? They will want Priscilla buried at the meditation garden. They'll say, well, of course she's going to be buried there. Elvis is buried there. Lisa Marie's buried there. Benjamin's buried there. This is our dilemma. Yeah? So, you get what I'm saying, guys? You get what I'm saying? Now, let's read the comments on the Facebook post. And as I said, I'm being fair. I'm listing all the facts. Okay? Let's just see what we got here. Now, I want to make it clear, guys. I don't think Priscilla should be buried at Graceland, at the meditation garden. I think she should be buried with her other family, her parents, etc. Yeah? So, but I won't ignore that her daughter and her grandson are buried in the meditation garden, because I don't think that would be fair to do that. So let's look at the comments. So obviously we got an outstanding no. Remember the question that was asked, should Priscilla be buried at the meditation garden? So Audrey says, hell no, absolutely not. She made Elvis's life hell as well as Lisa's. Let them rest in peace, knowing they are rid of her. Now, again, I will keep trying to be fair. To have credibility, I have to be fair. When she first moved over to Graceland, in round 63, Elvis was being unfaithful. Yeah, we have to be fair. We can't just paint out Elvis as a god, as an angel. He was being unfaithful. He was seeing other people. He was away a lot. He did have a temper. So for those up until the engagement, it must have been tough for Priscilla. It must have been. Yes, she was living in luxury. She moved from Bad Neuheim, Wiesbaden. I can't even say the name of where she lived. She moved from her parents' home. Priscilla moved from her parents' home to America. Yeah. So a massive change. She moved from a normal home to Graceland. Fantastic. She was living in luxury. Her life was amazing. But she did have to accept that Elvis was off, probably being unfaithful, spending a lot of time away. That happened, guys. We can't ignore it. So that must have been difficult. But I do think this. Once she's unfaithful to Elvis with the dance instructor just after Lisa Marie is born, so Lisa Marie's 2 or 3 months old, everything changes. Everything changed. And then all of the damage Priscilla has done since then, you know, with books like this, the treatment of Lisa Marie, and many other things, the divorce settlements, the money, the greed. There has been so many things that we could list that Priscilla has done wrong that upsets the fans. And that is why the fans don't want Priscilla buried there. Yeah? So let's keep reading. So I agree with the majority. No, she is an ex-wife. She's looking for fame after her death. I think that's a big point. This is another thing the fans keep saying. Well, hang on a minute. Why would you be buried next to your ex-husband? It doesn't make sense. I agree. Many of you say she's looking for fame after death. I agree. I agree. Priscilla wants to be remembered forever. Because let's face it, Graceland as a living memorial to Elvis, a living museum, will be an amazing destination, tourist attraction forever. Priscilla wants to be buried forever. And there's no way that an ex should be buried next to their ex-husband. It doesn't make sense. But, and we can't ignore it, but Lisa Marie and Benjamin are buried at Graceland, and Lisa Marie is Priscilla's daughter and grandson. So this is how do we fix that problem? I'm asking you now, guys. How do we fix that problem? So we could just say, right, Priscilla should be buried with her family, you know, her parents, etc. Yeah, that makes all the people that don't want Priscilla buried at the meditation garden happy. But what about the situation with Lisa Marie, who is her daughter? We know that she mistreated her daughter. We know she was a terrible parent. We understand about the alleged abuse of Priscilla's boyfriend, Michael Edwards, towards Lisa when she was a minor. Alleged, for entertainment purposes, just a discussion, not a fact. So that's upset us. We're very upset with Priscilla for putting Lisa Marie into Scientology and just being a selfish mother. Let's face it, Priscilla was a very selfish mother. She put herself first, her own career first, her own ambition, her greed for money, fame, men. Let's face it, Priscilla fancied the boys, fancied the men. Yeah. So we see it differently as fans. Okay. So remember, when we defend, we defend in a way that discusses all the facts. Yeah. So no way she doesn't belong there. Had Elvis still been alive, she wouldn't even be allowed to go near Graceland. He'd moved on, and so did Priscilla. So why would she need to go there in depth? I agree, they both moved on. They had a divorce. I do think the divorce was forced because Priscilla was unfaithful, but I do agree Elvis had moved on. He was with Linda and then eventually Ginger, and Priscilla had moved on with many different men. So I agree with that point. Nessa, who runs his own Defending Elvis and Lisa Facebook channel, she says blankly no. Caroline, she is an ex-wife. From what I have read and heard, Elvis had moved on, and so had she, whilst he was still alive. Yeah, very true. Okay, that's the first one. So we have another one. So this is the person who originally asked me. Hey Louis, this is Deborah Roberts. Deb Roberts, I just wanted to ask you about how our chat friends feel about Priscilla being buried in the meditation garden. I have a feeling I know the answer, but wanted to know what you think. Lots of love. This is why we're doing the live stream. Now, we have done quite a few live streams on Priscilla being buried in the meditation garden. If you go back on our history, there's quite a few. But when Deborah said this to me, I did want to bring it back up again. Now, this is part one. We are going to go on to a part two. So let me just look at your comments before I start reading these. So we are on our Defending Elvis Facebook page. Please join it. We've got over 10,000 followers now. And there's a 24-hour chat that you can join as well. Right. Let's check your comments, guys. Where are we? Hi, Frederick. Right. The problem I've got, guys, is I'm a bit tight on time, so I'm a bit rushing. So I may have to just quickly disappear and come back for part two. Okay, let's have a look. Quite a few comments. I'm only going to read Priscilla related comments, okay, guys, because I'm in a rush. Remember, any sort of hateful comments, guys, I'm just going to ignore them. We're going to do this in a mature way, okay? Remember, we are not a Priscilla hate channel. We are a Defending Elvis channel. Yeah? We do things in the right way. Sorry, guys, but it's important to me. No name calling. Right. Think of all the women who would have loved children. Let's have a look. Let me just find... let's have a look. So Emily mentions Navarone. Yeah, she could be buried with him. I agree with that. Remember, I don't want Priscilla buried at the meditation garden. Don't confuse what I'm saying. I'm being fair. I am going to bring up all the facts. So there's a comment. Emily, she was horse riding as well when pregnant. She tried to fall off. She didn't have... Yeah. So... I have read about the horse riding incident. Is it true? Is it true that, you know, again, we'd have to prove that that was her intention. Remember, we do try and defend with truth here. So does anyone have any evidence that there's truth to that? I think it's been mentioned in books. Please tell me, guys. Please tell me. I'm learning. Yeah, I've heard the thing that she wasn't eating properly as well. She wanted to keep her weight down. I've heard that. I think that wasn't that in Lisa's book as well. Frederick, I hope you're having a brilliant time, mate, in Weymouth Promenade. You're 100 feet away. Oh, well done, Frederick. We're so happy for you and your holiday. Yeah, I agree. Horse riding, when Priscilla was pregnant, is a massive no-no. Do we know that that happened? Do we know that that happened? So even the whole starving your baby thing, do we know that happened? Do we know? You know, I've read it all. I've seen all the comments. Do we know it happened? Emily, me too. I rode every... Let's have a look. Yeah, you don't ride a horse if you're pregnant. I completely agree with that. Yeah, Emily, I know how you feel. Right. Remember, I have exposed Priscilla's wrongdoing every day for over a year. Over a year. I expose Priscilla regularly, but I do it the right way, with no hate. With no hate. Yeah, so I saw a video on here yesterday with EP Fan Archive. But actually, it was a very fair and standing view of Riley's settlement with Priscilla and her... Yeah, so Frederick, I've posted it. I saw it as well. I don't tend to watch that channel, but I did watch that short, and I've posted it on Facebook. I've got nothing against that channel anymore. That's all behind us. I did post Kyle's short on our Defending Elvis Facebook page because I liked it. I liked what it said. It was a Defending Elvis short, so I liked it, and I did put a comment on that short for Kyle saying, I like this. Anything that defends Elvis, guys, it's a good thing. Yeah, anything. Yeah. You know, it's a shame that we've had these problems in the past, but I've drawn a line in the sand and we've moved forward from these problems. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Where are we? Sorry, it's jumping around, guys. Hi, Lorraine. How are you? So, in my opinion, Elvis bought Graceland for his mother. It goes without saying that his bloodline should be buried at the meditation garden due to the fact that Priscilla is an ex-wife. Yeah, do you know what? I agree, Emily. But we can't ignore that Lisa and Benjamin are buried there. We can't ignore that. I'm asking you guys as Elvis fans, how do we deal with that? How do we deal with it? Yeah? It is Lisa's mother. It is Benjamin's grandmother. How do we fix that problem? I agree. She could be buried with her other family. I'm asking for answers, guys. You tell me. I think it's crazy for a divorced woman to be buried with her ex-husband. I think it's bizarre, crazy. But Lisa and Benjamin are there. Yeah. Remember, the way I defend now, I try to be fair. Yeah. I try to say all the facts. Yeah. Yeah. So Emily, Priscilla has a son with a 22-year relationship. Where does he fit in all this? I agree. She could get buried with Navarone one day. Yeah. Yeah. That's one of the options. That is one of the options. Priscilla isn't the bloodline irrespective of being Lisa's mother and Benjamin. Emily, I don't accept that comment. You can't take away Priscilla is bloodline to Lisa. Priscilla is bloodline to Benjamin. So I'm sorry, that comment is just not correct. Yeah, she's not bloodline to Elvis. Yeah, I agree with that. She is Elvis's ex. Come on, Emily, if it was your daughter and your son, you'd want to be buried with them. Emily, I'm directing that directly to you. Priscilla. So Emily, imagine you are the mother of Lisa. You are the grandmother of Benjamin. Where would you want to be buried? Where would you want to be buried? This is my question. So Lorraine is very clear. Priscilla, no, she should not be buried at Graceland. She's an ex-wife and not blood. I agree. But she is blood to Lisa and Benjamin. We have to be fair. Remember, I don't want Priscilla buried at Graceland, but we have to, if we're going to be a discussion program called Defending Elvis, we have to say all the facts. Give me the answers, guys. Give me the answers. So Frederick says Priscilla's parents are in a Catholic cemetery in LA. Okay, thank you. I have read the bits in Lisa's book. It's not clear though, is it? It's not clear. Do you know what? I'd like to get those sections out and read them out. I'd like to do that, Jane. If Lisa bought Graceland, then Prissy has every right to want to be buried there. If Lisa bought Graceland, then Priscilla has every right to want to be buried there. I'm not sure what that means. She has a son to another man and she loved, this is Lorraine. She has a son to another man and she loved her more than she loved Lisa. I'm sure Priscilla will deny that, but we, the fans, we do feel that Navarone is a favourite, but we don't know, do we? But yeah, remember, we're not happy with how Priscilla has treated Lisa, are we? We're unhappy with Priscilla's treatment of Lisa for many reasons. The Michael Edwards alleged abuse, yeah, for entertainment purposes, just an opinion. The Scientology stuff, the way she treated Lisa's father, yeah. So yeah, you know, in the same way as Navarone, you know, Priscilla should be buried next to Navarone and her own parents. Yeah, we could say the same thing about Lisa and Benjamin. Priscilla should be buried with Lisa and Benjamin. Do you get what I'm saying, guys? This is the dilemma of fans, of people. You've got the Priscilla fans who have fallen for the brainwashing of the fake fairy tale of the book Elvis and Me. that think she deserves to be buried at Graceland. She still loves Elvis. That Elvis is the love of her life. Elvis is her soulmate, which we disagree with. We here at Defending Elvis disagree that Elvis is the love of Priscilla's life and Elvis is Priscilla's soulmate, don't we? We disagree with that. But we still have a dilemma. Thanks, Emily. She should be buried in Brazil with Garibaldi Garcia. She doesn't trash them for money. She doesn't portray them for money. And Garibaldi and Navarrete Garibaldi. Yeah, there we are. I think that's a good point. She doesn't trash Marco Garibaldi. She doesn't trash her son. Yeah. Right. So I get that. I take on board that point. Let's have a look. She only wants to be buried. And let me just read that again. So Lorraine says she only wants to be buried there, Louis, to be relevant after death, because she knows if she gets buried anywhere, no one would bother to walk past her grave, being buried at Graceland. I agree. If Priscilla gets buried anywhere else, no one's going to visit her grave except for family. If she gets buried at Graceland, millions will walk past her grave. Yeah, I agree. Lorraine, I agree with that point. That's what bothers me with Lorraine. If she was close to Lisa, maybe different, but clearly she was. Well, no, Emma, no. If you go through the old interviews, they definitely had periods of closeness. 100% they had. It was an on-off relationship. They were close at times. Even Lisa said it in her book that they would go through periods of being very close. So no, Emma, sorry to disagree with you, but that is not true. They were on and off. Typical mother-daughter. They were very on and off. Yeah? So you can't ignore that Lisa is Priscilla's daughter. You can't ignore that. Yeah? Remember, I keep saying this to you guys. Priscilla isn't a monster. She's a human being. She made a lot of mistakes. A lot of mistakes. There's many things that Priscilla's done that we are very upset with. But she is Lisa's mother. And she is a human being. So there's good and bad with Priscilla. Yeah? She's not walking around sprouting horns about to fly off and turn into the devil. She's a human being that has messed up, made many mistakes, done many things wrong, has committed adultery, has been very greedy with money. She has put her own ambitions before her daughter. She definitely should not have put Lisa into Scientology. The divorce settlements with Elvis were disgusting. The unfaithfulness was disgusting. Priscilla's made a lot of mistakes, but she is a human being. Remember, we expose Priscilla's wrongdoing every day. So Emma is saying, I'm trying to say that she doesn't belong due to the mistreatment of Lisa and Elvis. Yes, and that's how the fans feel. Remember, the fans that have done their research and truly love Elvis and Lisa will not want Priscilla buried there. Yeah? But the fans that love Priscilla, that have been brainwashed by the bullshit fake romance, the fake Elvis and me book, this is a rewriting of history. Fake. This is all fake to me, yeah? That book was created to make Priscilla look like a poor victim and Elvis look like the bad guy. Those people will think Priscilla deserves to be buried next to Elvis. They will also think that Elvis and Priscilla were still in love. They even think that Elvis and Priscilla were still together when Elvis died. That's how stupid some of these people are. Many of these people think that Elvis and Priscilla were still together when Elvis died. That's how ridiculous it is, guys. So these people have done no research. They have been brainwashed, okay? I don't believe Priscilla wants to be buried because she's Lisa and Benjamin's are there. In a statement she made herself, she wants to be buried as close to Elvis as possible. Why not Lisa if it was that case? Yeah, now I'd want to see that statement. That I've heard it loads of times. She specifically requested to be buried next to Elvis. I believe it, mind. Karen, I believe you. Yeah? I'd love to be able to prove it. Karen, send me some proof that she specifically said that she wanted to be buried next to Elvis, because I agree with that comment you've just made. The other thing I will add is I do believe that she wants to be buried next to Lisa and Benjamin, because Lisa is her child, Benjamin is her grandson. So I won't discount that. Karen, if Lisa was your child, if Benjamin was your grandson, you'd want to be buried next to them. Get it? The dilemma is she also has family, her own parents, and that, you know, like Frederick said, they're buried in LA. She has the option to be buried in LA. Yeah? So come on, guys. It's mother and daughter, grandson. You can't get away from that. I don't believe Priscilla wants to be buried because Lisa and Benjamin are there. She's statement herself. She wants to be buried close to Elvis as possible. And why not Lisa? Yes. Sorry, I've just read the same comment. But yes, I fully take that on board. I fully take that on board. And can we prove that, please? Can we prove it? Emma, I watched the interviews with Lisa, especially when her mother is present. She is uncomfortable and almost agitated. Yeah, I've seen that. It's the end of presumptuous of us. Right, in the end, it's presumptuous of us to tell the 3 granddaughters what to do with their grandmother. Right, the last couple of words, I'm a bit unsure about the last couple of words, but I think what Frederick is saying is that we as fans don't have the right to tell to tell Priscilla where to be buried. If Riley, Finley and Harper love their grandmother, which is possible, they probably do, then it's up to them. It's up to them. Yeah? Do we agree with that? Now, we as fans obviously don't feel that Priscilla has the right to be buried in the meditation garden or next to Elvis. But like Frederick says, ultimately, it's Riley, Finley and Harper. You know, Danielle. Danielle is Riley's real name. It's their decision. Obviously, Memphis City are involved. We've got to work out the stuff with the graves. Yeah, how many graves they're going to allow at Graceland. But, you know, that's going to be sorted, isn't it, guys? That'll be sorted. So I do agree. It is presumptuous of us, really, to say what we want is what the grandkids want. Yeah? Frederick, am I getting that right, what I'm saying? Yeah, Emma, it's mind-blowing. It is. It's mind-blowing. Emily, what mother would fancy your daughter's husband? Yeah. It's happened before. It's happened before, guys. I feel like a lot of this is staged, though, Louis. You could tell by a lot of Lisa's body language in these interviews. I didn't get the impression from Lisa's book either. Just my opinion. Okay, that's Emma. Well, no, it's very clear to me they were on and off. I've watched every interview you can get with Lisa and Priscilla. Some of them are very awkward, very uncomfortable. I agree. Some of the interviews where Lisa is with Priscilla, especially when they're talking about her father, Elvis, are very uncomfortable. But I've seen loads of interviews where Priscilla and Lisa are laughing and happy and smiling together. And I've read this book many times. Yeah, I always read. I listen to it on audio. Yeah, and no, they had good times. I know you don't want to hear it, guys. Priscilla and Lisa had a lot of good times and a lot of bad times. I actually think towards the end of Lisa's life, you know, when she died, unfortunately, that they were not getting on. I honestly believe that Priscilla and Lisa were not getting on because of the Priscilla film, Sofia Coppola's film. They were arguing about that a lot, a threat of possible lawsuit. So remember, I am trying to be unbiased. That is how we are credible. Even though you know that I am on Elvis's side, I am on Lisa's side. Yeah? You know that, guys. But I have to, as a defending Elvis channel, I have to sit on the fence and see all the facts. I have to. Many of you have got a lot of hate in you. You just hate Priscilla. That will affect your opinions. So whenever I ask you for evidence, it helps me. It helps me. So that's it. Let me just keep looking at your comments, guys. Emma, you won't let me down, darling. This is your channel. Let's have a look. So I missed a few comments. I'm about to start my final year at psychology degree. Maybe I should do my dissertation and psychology on Priscilla. Yeah, why not? I think that's a good idea. I'd love that. Guys, I know this is a difficult topic. I know it, but don't twist what I'm doing here. Don't turn me into a Priscilla fan because you're emotional. I ain't no Priscilla fan. I make it clear I am no Priscilla fan. I don't think Priscilla should be buried at the meditation garden, but we will defend properly. Let's have a look. She's always seems off to me. It seems stable. Yeah, I think we've read that one. Okay, I'm going to try and read a couple more comments, and then we're going to have to do a part 2, yeah? Let's have a look. We are all seeing it through a mother's point of view. Well, no, I don't see that. I don't see that. Emma, won't you let me down? Right, Debbie, I don't see that, because a mother would want to be buried next to her daughter and her grandson, yeah? You guys are saying that she doesn't want to be buried next to her daughter or grandson. She just wants to be buried next to Elvis. So that isn't seeing it from a mother's point of view. Yeah. Of course, then she's got her other family, Navarone, her own parents. Yeah. So no, I would say any mother would want to be buried. Doesn't matter who it is. Doesn't have to be a celebrity. Doesn't have to be Priscilla. Any mother would want to be buried with her daughter and her grandchild. Yeah. Any mother. I would want to be buried next to my daughter and her grandkid. I would, yeah? So some of you are not seeing it in the right way, I don't think. No disrespect, Louis, but I don't agree with times when they seem close, just seems fake. I don't hate Priscilla. I don't know her to hate her. Just what I feel from her body language. Yeah, but I've just said, Emma, you have to understand something. I've watched all the videos where they look very uncomfortable, where they look fake. I've watched them, yeah. But I've also watched the videos where they just look like they're having fun and they're enjoying being together and they're laughing happily together. I've also read Lisa's book where Lisa clearly says they had good times. So remember, it's fine for us to agree to disagree. 2 minutes, Yaz, we're coming off. Remember, it's fine for us to agree to disagree. Remember, never take things personally. Emma, one thing, my bit of advice to you, because you're going to you're going to do your own YouTube channel. Don't take things personally.
Dad, can I have an ice cream?
In a minute. Don't take things personally. It's not personal. This is a YouTube channel. We are discussing a very serious topic. A very emotional topic that people have very strong feelings about. But because I am called defending Elvis, I have to try and be impartial. I have to try and have all the facts. Otherwise, I just feel stupid. Otherwise, I don't feel I have any credibility. If I'm just going to stand here, sit here and call Priscilla names and say that Priscilla did everything wrong and Elvis was an angel, I look stupid. I look stupid. Yeah. Remember, the relationship between Elvis and Lisa was very complicated. Very complicated. Sorry. Between Priscilla and Lisa was very complicated. Guys, I'm going to have to come back for a part 2. My wife's ringing. I'll be back for part 2. There's lots more to be said. Emma, thank you. Emma, I know I like the feedback. We agree to disagree on things.